to the NBA because I just highlighted some NBA players anyways that I've tried to doom. I want to start out with this because it's just so annoying and I'm tired of seeing it. For the love of God, can we just like suspend Grayson Allen for a season or something like that? Like, how many times do we have to see this over and over again with him involved? And you know how many games he got suspended for, Dylan?
Was it one?
One
Yeah,
game.
that
He
was
got
right. Okay,
suspended.
good.
He got suspended one game. You know how many games that Caruso's not going to be able to play in because he has a broken wrist?
At
More than
least
one.
20?
Yeah, more than one is the
Yeah.
answer. And that's where I go, why? Like, why is Caruso still like out of the game because of a broken wrist and Grayson Allen is playing and getting paid and it's like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Like, so annoying. I'm so sick and tired of the punishments in the NBA because they're just so stupid. One game suspension for a dude who has a history of it and then purposely does this to a guy and then breaks his wrist.
That's
Like,
just a
come
day
on.
off. That's not
Like
even a punishment.
yeah, he got one day off and he's not even losing that much money because he's gonna get paid for the rest of the games. Like
I don't
suspending for like half a season without pay or something. Something that's actually going to be like hey, you can't actually injure the other team's player.
I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't want to be strict on that too, because like the Bulls are a really good NBA story this season too. I mean, the
That's what I'm
Bulls, like the
saying.
Chicago hasn't cared about the NBA
Dude,
as much because the Bulls were dysfunctional until now, and then everyone's watching them, and then you take out one of their favorite players. Like,
I've
yeah,
had this
that's rough.
conversation with Craig and I was like, I don't understand why like all of the leagues are not big fans of like the Chicago sports. Like I don't know why Chicago sports just don't get like treatment that other organizations that are also iconic get, you know?
Yeah,
And this is one of those where I just go like I cannot believe that Grayson Allen is still in the game playing basketball, getting paid to do so, while I am sitting here going, man, it would be really nice to have our best defensive guard in the game.
I
You know?
wonder sometimes if it's like if they just view like the Chicago market as like a foregone conclusion or like saturated
Yeah,
in some ways, but like is it the fact that they don't appreciate it because they think they're always going to have it, or is it they just don't think that um like they could capitalize anymore? Like LA and stuff has a lot of room to expand. It's pretty much dominated by the Lakers, things like that, but I mean, that's the only thing I could think of. Otherwise, why wouldn't you? Because we spend a lot of money for terrible teams, like despite anything else that's happening, you know?
well, and this conversation extends to like I said, all of Chicago sports, where I go like, why is Justin Fields getting no penalties called on late hits when every other like he's the quarterback for the Chicago Bears, the team that created your league, and you don't want to protect him like you do every other, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. You breathe on any of those guys, you're going to get a penalty. So like, why is Justin Fields able to take a hit after 3 steps from the defensive lineman and that's not a called. It's not called. So
Yeah.
it just doesn't make any sense to me. And this whole Caruso thing pissed me off because I was just like, this is just, it's more of the same where I just go, why aren't people getting punished for things that they should get punished for? And instead, as a fan of the Chicago Bulls, I now have to watch the Bulls without one of their best defensive players, which leads into my next thing, which is that the Bulls are currently just kind of waiting on, these defensive guys to come back in order for them to really reach the peak level that they can. Because you got guys like Levine and DeRozan who are obviously all stars, and DeRozan's going on a freaking MVP like tear this year, because everybody pissed him off in the offseason, telling them that he was the worst signing by the of the offseason and that he was washed up and all that fun stuff. So he's going on a tear, just showing everybody why they were wrong. And the Bulls are awesome and they're good and they're well coached and they play well. And then, you get stuff like this where, Williams went down with injury, who's our Patrick Williams, who's our second year player, high draft pick, number 4 overall. Great defender. He's got that I literally like told Craig that I felt like he was like literally like a Kawhi Leonard. Like it was like watching Kawhi Leonard as like a rookie is what Patrick Williams looked like. So not saying he could become a Kawhi Leonard, but he at least had that potential and that style of play where he was a great defensive athletic player. You lose him, so you lose your athletic defensive big that can guard guys like LeBron, Durant, Giannis, and then you lose Caruso now to injury, who's our best defender on the team, who guards, guard all levels of guards, point guard, shooting guard, shuts them
How long
down.
is he supposed to be out for?
4 to 6 weeks, I think it was. I don't remember. It might have been longer because of the wrist, but I might be confusing that with the next guy I'm talking about, which is Lonzo's injury. Lonzo is another one of our better defenders at the guard position, and one of our better facilitators on the team. Obviously, our best facilitator on the team, and he's also out. So I just one of those where I just go, like, the Bulls are still winning games and still playing well, and we are out like our three best defenders. As you can see, two of them right now on the screen. Number 9 is Patrick Williams. That's the guy I was talking about, and the number 2 is Lonzo. So that's what I mean. It's just like I'm tired of like and then like I said, this whole like we already had Lonzo and Patrick Williams out, and then the Carusos happened, and then I heard that Grayson Allen got suspended for one game, and I was like, come on. It's like, did they just not want the Bulls to be successful? Like, we're number 1 in the East. Like, why are we not getting talked about as respectful as we should be, considering we don't even have some of our best players, like our best defenders who would help complete a championship level type team. So
do you think they end up getting them back like for the playoffs?
well, there's talk that Patrick Williams could come back before the playoffs, which would be good because he'll get some games under him and get back into game shape.
Oh, I thought he was totally out. That's nice. I thought he was out for the season for sure.
No, he should be able to hopefully get back before the playoffs, which is good.
Okay.
Or at least he'll be back for the playoffs in limited capacity.
Yeah.
And
compassion
then
too. from everybody else in the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got Lonzo and Caruso. I don't know. Caruso should be back for the playoffs, I think. Same with Lonzo, but still, I mean, it's one of those where you prefer these guys to be playing ahead of the playoffs, so that way they can continue to build the chemistry and everything going into the playoffs. So, is it going to be nice to get them back? Yeah, but it's also going to be annoying because it's like, well, if there's some shortages in their play, it's because they haven't they haven't been on the court at the same time, so they haven't been able to play with each other and get that kind of chemistry that you would get by playing a full season together. So yeah, I just I believe in the Bulls still to be a very, very formidable team this year in the playoffs, and even a championship level caliber team. I just am worried because, like I said, we're not getting our best defenders until the playoffs, and that also could mess with team chemistry and lineups and all that stuff. So it's like we might basically lose our chance this year by de facto because of those things I just talked about. So
yeah,
but
it's a shame because I kind of took for granted that you're gonna be able to watch like games and stuff that were important and have them be entertaining. And then in the time that I was going to do that, they ended up having the entire team get injured, have COVID, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then here we are. So hopefully it turns around and there's still time to do that. However, I'm not going to put my eggs all in one basket if that's the way they're going to treat stuff like that. So yeah, I'll look forward to, but
well,